Welcome to a comic book look, your weekly comic book show. Anything about the comics, about the industry, you want it, you got it. My name is John, aka Still Here, New Year, and we got Tom over here, aka Sleeping on the Job. Skylar and I, being the dedicated staff member, showed up on time and walked into Tom's basement, and it was way too quiet, so we decided to Scooby-Doo up the stairs and peek into the living room, and lo and behold, there's Tom on the couch, conked out, you know. But, nah, he's getting back on his feet. But
dude, these chumps they work so late. They can't come over until so late. I was going to hang out on the couch. I happened to fall asleep. My bizzle.
It was amazing. Anyways, issue 25. Wow. That's a big deal for the show.
25th anniversary.
So excited about that. So awesome, and thank you to you guys.
Yeah, that's always a good comic book number, you know, like 25, 50, 75, 100. Those are always comic book numbers. They always make the, you know, like something bigger out of the issue, a bigger issue or something usually. And so, totally any reason for a celebration on a comic book look, you know that?
Definitely.
So, well, let's drag you down a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh? What do you say?
Let's do it.
Okay. We are today going to be talking about fucking how much is too much when it comes to comics and comic prices, you know, balling on a budget.
Exactly.
And, you know, that's what we're going to talk about today. It's, you know, you're probably thinking, well, this is a comic book show. Maybe somebody who's watching this is not a big comic book fan is going, what are you guys going to talk about this for? Because it plays a huge part. I mean, money in your budget plays a huge part of being a comic book fan. Mm-hmm. You know, you may think, you know, $2.99, $3.99, sometimes $6.99, $7.99. You think, well, that's just lunch, even when it's $7.99. You know, maybe that's just going to lunch someday that you know, don't have to do, and you make your lunch that day, and you'll be fine. But you know, how much is too much for buying weekly comics when it comes to some issues being extremely expensive?
Exactly.
Or even how many titles there are being $3.99 and $4.99, or $2.99 and $3.99. I mean, and $4.99 sometimes. And you know that they're killers. They play a big difference. Do you, John? You know, look at a price when you're going to buy a book. Is it something that you take into account of when you're making your pull stack?
Well, obviously, previously to now, no. Because there's been past episodes where I'm like, well, Tom, let me get the old, you know, forklift over here and show you my mountain of comics. There's just some weeks it was just way ridiculous. Remember when we worked together? It was just, oh my god, you know. And so actually today, yeah I did. No,
1 week.
Yeah, I totally did keep an eye on the price of things. I was actually looking at the wall, and you know, John, the owner of our LCS, came over and was like, "Well, it's a good week for you. The whole bottom shelf's all X titles." I'm like, "Well, that's cool, but hey, I'm cutting back." Right. You know, and I just said, you know, it's strictly a money thing, nothing personal like that. But I mean, I had the potential to get like 9 books today, and I got 4.
Yeah.
You know, and I was actually not going to get one of them, but John talked me into it. The X-Sanction Avengers 204. I got number 1 already, and it was okay. You know, he was like, "This is a really good issue," and I'm like, "Okay, you know, if you can vouch for it, then I'll try it out." Mm-hmm. So, you know, and it was still under my goal actually for this year is $20 or less per week, and that's gonna suck on some weeks. Let me tell you.
Ooh, that's what your goal is, huh?
Yeah. So, and it's gonna suck some weeks because I have some heavy weeks, but you know, to really truly appreciate a comic, you know, I kind of need to look at it and be like, what are my core titles? You know, what am I riding with? And there's just some I just decided to screw it. You know, I don't think about it after I read it. You know.
Yeah, so definitely.
That's exactly how it went this week. What about you?
Well, totally. I think I look at comics and I look at the comic prices totally, but in the past, mostly I would, you know, just if I wanted the comic, I'd get it.
Yeah. And
I had plenty of weeks over $50. Happened all the time, and it was probably not a good thing. But I wanted, if these are the comics I wanted, I'd get it. You know, whatever. I have a good job, but that I can afford it. It's just like I probably shouldn't be paying this much money, you know, a month on comics. But you know, it was worth it to me at the time, and you know, I really, you know, did that constantly, and I mean, I still have those weeks, but I really try to get down, and you know, more than ever now with the new DC 52, I have been, you know, I tried a whole bunch of books out, and I'm already weaned and found out kind of what I'm going with. Maybe borderline on Action Comics, but other than that, I mean, I know what I'm getting now, and it's not a whole lot. Animal Man, Swamp Thing, All-Star Western, Batman, Wonder Woman. That is what I'm getting. Action Comics is the borderline, like I said.
Yep.
And so, I mean, there's a whole bunch of titles that we talked about on previous issues, and, you know, I'm already not buying those because I know that I'm not going to probably go back and read all of these issues.
Yeah, exactly.
If they are great indie series that come together completed, you know, later, and you want to, you know, I mean, I like to go back and then read them all like a trade, and that I feel accomplished kind of when I get to complete my series for indie titles. And so I guess that is kind of where I try to spend the majority of my money. Most indie titles are probably going to be anywhere from, some are $2.99, I'd say most are $3.50, and some are $3.99. And, you know, I like the $3.50. I feel like the $3.50 is a really good, you know, it's almost like a compromise between the fans and the company. You know, we know there's other comics books that are $3.99, and we can't give it to you for $2.99. You know, let's do $3.50. And I wish that would have, you know, happened. But in about 2008, Marvel all of a sudden starts throwing in, all their comics are $2.99. Starts throwing in $3.99 books. Maybe 2007, 2008. Started throwing in some $3.99 issues here and here, one-shots, bigger ones, maybe 48 pagers, and all of a sudden, maybe in a regular title then, and they start throwing it in without ever seeing a $3.50. In turn, DC follows suit and starts throwing in larger books, but always making them like double issues or, you know, some reason why. And since then, you know, it's just been slowly cutting back and cutting back. Regular issues are $3.99. You know, 22-page books could be $3.99. And so you're thinking, you're a kid, I'm a kid, 1995, you know, I'm 10 years old, I could go to a comic shop with $10 and get 10 comics.
Exactly.
You know, and now we talk about, you know, 15 years later, 17 years later, you can go into a comic book with $10 and get 2 comics.
Yeah.
$3.99, $3.99, you have $2 left over to go spend on the dollar wall or something. And, man, that seems like a huge increase compared to other products. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, price points, it you know, plays a big role with, you know, comic fans also in another way that, you know, some titles make it and some titles don't because people are on a budget.
Exactly. And sales definitely, they totally play a huge part in it. Factors, you know, because I did a little bit of research on my phone about it as well, and, you know, just some of the factors that go into it, you know, obviously, you know, the writers and artists, you know, sometimes bigger names draw bigger costs to doing it. Then there's the quality of paper, obviously, has evolved from old issues. When we look at something from the 80s now, you're like, oh man, this is not going to make it.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, so the quality of paper is cool, and it's really cool for us to be able to have our issues longer due to that higher quality. Printing, of course, is not, you know, the simple anymore. It's digital. So it's just a lot of things are going into play with why it's going up in price. For me, I just wish the content matched it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think what happened with, you know, with like paper stock being a lot nicer and everything, around, I want to say 2000, Joe Quesada and like Jimmy Palminotti start Marvel Knights at Marvel, and everything has to be just great artist, great writer, amazing quality paper, just the whole presentation going to be just dynamic. And I think that changed everything. It changed the whole comic industry into everybody wanting their comics to be nice. And, you know, it's a collector's market now. And it being a collector's market, you know, where let's say in 1990, 20 years ago, huge amount of people are, you know, buying comics. And just since then, just slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, way less people are buying comics. And it's just been, you just losing them. Sometimes there's insurgencies where, you know, more comics are sold, but for the most part, less people are buying comics. And I think the price of comics has a stranglehold on the industry because we're talking, when we like comics, how old are you when you start to like comics, you know?
Right.
I don't know. Young.
Yeah.
You know, you're a young kid. Comics today, at a comic shop, how is a young kid going to go and get into comics? You know, how is he going to be able to read 5 titles?
Yeah.
You know, being 10 years old, how are you going to have that kind of money?
Yeah.
If you buy 5 titles every week, how is it, your mom's like, you're 10 years old. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of downsides to that side, you know, as having the industry being choked out by higher prices. But I understand. I mean, I understand it's a crazy economy, and, you know, there's not as many comics as are being sold. You know, creators still need to be paid. And there are different levels. I mean, there are amazing, you know, people who draw big names and sell more comics just because of their name, and they're going to get paid more. And there are artists that will sell tons of books just because of their name, and they're going to get paid a lot more than somebody who's not. Yeah. And so, with, you know, there being usually big and good names on a lot of the good titles, you know, it costs money. And, you know, I want to talk about how this is getting so bad. You know, what are the companies doing about it? What should be done, or what could help, you know, the situation in this? You know, do you have any ideas?
Well, with that, you know, it's all about, it's a big money game is what it is, because, you know, when we bring up, you know, kids these days, you know, they're more than capable of following multiple storylines, more
Totally.
so, because they're multitasking
Totally.
beasts on their phones and internet and so forth on there, and quite frankly, I think it'd be kind of a good positive outlet for the right kid, you know.
Oh, totally.
So I totally think they would rock it. It's the money thing, you know, and the way that things have been going, you know, just, you know, you got your parents working 2 jobs, or you know, kids working a job, you know, stuff like that. The money, totally. It's insane, you know. Providing even a digital alternative, they're charging the same price.
Well, you know, you just wait a little bit, you get it for $1 less.
Yeah. So that's you
awesome.
know, if you're okay with waiting for it.
So, but you know, that's one solution that I think they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they're offering the exact same content. You have to wait a little bit for it for a whole $1 cheaper on digital. DC Comics is. I don't know if Marvel's doing that yet. I don't think they are. Okay, so. And I think, as a whole, I mean, what I was coming from that is, you know, what can we do? What should we do? I mean, I think, you know, there are things that the publishers are trying to do. Marvel, not as much, but think of DC. I mean, DC went through and said, draw the line at $2.99. They made this huge deal. They said, look, guys, we hear you that $3.99 is too much. Jim Lee and Dan Didio. And they said, you know, we understand what's going on. I mean, you guys can't pay this much for comics. So here it is, another compromise. Comics at this point are 22 pages, anywhere from $2.99 to $3.99. They say all our comics are now 20 pages, 2 pages less. So they have to pay the artist and the writer 2 pages less, because writers and artists get paid on page rate. Huh. So they get paid per page in their comics, and so there's going to be a little bit of squeeze even on the creators. There's going to be a little bit of squeeze on the company, DC, because they're drawing the line at $2.99. All their books are $2.99 and 20 pages. And it was, I think, very successful. I love that DC did that. It made me feel like they cared about their fans and at least thought about them.
Totally.
You know, where you didn't hear anything about that from Marvel, you know, because, you know, it's so much, I feel like so much about the bottom line at Marvel, where at, you know, DC, they really do care about their characters as much as, you know, the fans do. And they showed that in trying to do $2.99. Now they made Flashpoint $3.99. It was a little bit bigger, nicer stock, and so some people were like, oh, you didn't draw the line at $2.99. Well, yeah, they had 2 books that were $3.99, a Lobo story or something that was already in the works and way bigger, and so they didn't drop those down. But when you drop almost every single title down, 50 titles, and you have 2 or 3 that are $3.99, I mean, that's the way to go, and DC did that. Now, with the new 52, they really kept that. All their titles are $2.99 and mostly 20 pages. I think Minowar is $3.99, All-Star Western is $3.99, Action is $3.99, so and Justice League is $3.99. So kind of some of those top tier books with top tier creators, they are putting an extra $1 on, trying to put extra content in again to make it worth, you know, the extra $1. So does that kind of suck? Yes, but to have 48, 47 books that are $2.99 from, that's awesome. Yeah. At Marvel, I mean, when I go to buy something and it is $3.99. I mean, that's what made me drop Captain America.
Yeah.
It's specifically what made me drop Captain America. When it goes back to $2.99, I buy it. I started buying Captain Bucky. But if you buy the actual Captain America issues that we rated, the first one really good, I never read any rest.
Yeah, right.
they were $3.99, a copy. Did we like it enough that one of us wanted to shell out an extra $4 to read it? No, we didn't. Because $4 is a lot of money.
It is.
And you can say, looking at it and say, oh, if you buy 2 books a week for $3, that's not bad at all. $6, and you're right. That would be the way to go. But that's hard to do with a comic fan that's been around and wants to read the titles that he wants to read. There's a lot of good titles. Another way for you to get around the price is to trade wait. What do you think of that, John? What do you mean? To wait for the trade to come out. The
totally.
Trade back.
Yeah, absolutely. No, trades are definitely an effective way of. It's just the patience game more than anything. Like in trades, I'm not so much. I'm more of the instant gratification kind of guy. Thunderbolts every month and so forth. But reading a trade, like when Tom lends me some of his and I get experience to a storyline, to me it's a lot more effective to meet a new story when I can read it back to back, because then I can be like, oh cool, I don't have to wait 30 days, or in the case of S.H.I.E.L.D., I only read like the first issue.
Yeah.
You've been raving about it ever since. I need to read those.
Exactly.
But they come out like every 3 months or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I totally agree. I think that trades are a very effective way of getting your story, and it's cheaper. And
yeah, you get probably 7 comics combined, usually 6 or 7 comics combined. You think, $3 or $4 times 6, you're making money when you buy the trade for $12.99, $14.99 at the comic shop, or you go to Amazon, you pay half price. If you have Amazon Prime and get free shipping, I mean, you're getting books for half price all the time. I got 1 through 48, The Walking Dead Compendium. That's huge book. 48 issues, and I paid $30 for it on Amazon. That included shipping because I don't have Amazon Prime, but I mean, that just totally makes sense. If you can not have to be in the chat online and the chat at the shop and the knowing what's going on now in the storyline, I mean, waiting for the trade is the way to go. I mean, but DC takes a long time for trades to come out. Marvel's usually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll even get like almost every line, at least the main ones, Avengers, X-Men, they're coming out in trades, like clockwork. So some people just do that, and I mean, that can be the smarter way to go. I read Chew in the trade because it was when I fucking missed the start of, so I didn't get like the first 5 issues. Everybody's raving about it, and I was pissed that I didn't pick him up. Picked up the trade, love it. I was like, okay, this is going to be the first series that I am going to buy in the trade now. I've done it with other titles like Skelt, where I read a trade and then had to go pick up all the issues, but Chew was the first book that I decided I'm going to read this whole series, because John Layman said it's going to be 60 issues long. I'm going to read this whole series and buy the trade the day the trade comes out. And it's awesome. They're all 5 issues. It's only $12.99. Saving money compared to the issues anyway. I get it in one story. There are only 10 issues of Chew come out a year, so it's a little bit slower than monthly. And that in turn is awesome for me, because then I don't forget what's going on in between the issues. I can read all 5 back to back. And, I totally see the benefits of doing that for, like, all these other books that I'm reading. But I'm a comic purist, man. I buy my comics weekly at my comic shop. So, shit. Sorry, guys. I would love to go straight trade, but I do. You guys know, I buy trades all the time. I read a lot of trades. So, that's, I usually like to catch up things. And after that, I've gone and bought, lots of full series on trade, because I just really like this setup and the format. And if you get a hardcover, it's so nice.
And we get lucky too. You got your eBays, your Amazons. We have a store in town that actually buys trades and resells them. Last Stop CD Shop is what we call it out here in the sticks.
Yeah, dude.
But it's a great thing, and it's a great opportunity to try something new, and the prices are pretty reasonable.
Oh yeah. Oh, the prices are awesome. No book is ever more than $8.
Yeah.
So, Lock and Key hardcover, got that for $8. Amazon even is going to sell that for $20. Yeah. And so that's discounted. Last Stop CD Shop is like a gift to God. I've heard a lot of people talk about half price books. It's like a chain of stores that also has really cheap trades. And this is like a, you know, a used CD shop, video games, and they have a huge book section as well. So they have comic books mixed in with them, and they also have a big section of manga. And it's really cool because you can go on Amazon and try to buy manga, and it is freaking expensive for out-of-print manga. Like, super expensive. They don't make them anymore. Not everybody's selling them. And so people go to Last Stop and don't know that, and they sell their total runs of out-of-print manga. You could seriously just pick the whole entire run up and go on Amazon and just sell it. You know,
make some bank.
I got Eagle 1 through 5, the whole entire trade, and I mean that it ends up being like this thick. Because these book 1 through 5, each book is like that big, and I got them all for ended up being $6 a book. And you go online, you're gonna pay $30 a book no matter what, at least. So yeah, totally. That is another great way to save, but you know, it's not for everybody, and you know, comics needs people to buy comics. You know, we need people in the stores monthly for this tradition that's been going on since, you know, the 1930s to continue on. And I want it to continue on. It's my favorite medium. So yeah, I'm biased, but you know, let's try to figure out ways that these publishers can continue to try to bring prices down, and you know, find different ways, think outside of the box like DC has done to try to change things. And I mean, I think it's totally possible. You know, there has been different things like Fell, Warren Ellis, and Ben Templesmith made this comic that was $1.99, and they're all one and done stories, and they're only 16 pages. Now, Ben Templesmith, I mean, he takes forever to make a comic, and Warren Ellis is always late on the script, so of course it only comes out every half a year or one a year. But they were trying something else. It didn't hit over, you know, you didn't see a whole bunch of other books do that, but, you know, those are the kind of things that I think we do need to look out of the box and find out if there's anything else that, you know, can be done.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are plenty of things that can be done. I mean, there are. And I think, you know, comic publishers just have to take the risk and try out a few.
And I guess, honestly, it's just... I can't, you know, Tom has drilled this in my head, just explore the quality of what you're getting, you know. For me, I mean, one of my New Year's resolutions that we didn't talk about on the last episode is just kind of getting familiar with, like, you know, who's behind the books that I like versus the ones that I don't, and so forth. And if there is, like, a longer run, oh, this transition in Thunderbolt sucks. Now, who's behind it and why? You know, like, that's going to jog me to go back through my back stock and reread and re-enjoy your purchases and so forth on there. And you know, you got so many writers. I mean, you got Gillen, great issue with Uncanny. Gage wrote a mean Avengers Academy. You got your Brubakers. You got your Tony S. Daniels. Whatever. You know, like it's just I don't know. Like it just depends on like the quality of work that they put out. Tony S. Daniels a writer, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
okay.
He's a writer-drawer for Batman or for Detective Comics right now.
Okay.
And yeah, and totally. I mean, there are millions of people working in this industry. Everybody needs to get their share, and I want every comic book to do well and everything to do amazing. Right now the top-selling comic is going to. But I wanted to say before I say this, John, you're totally right. You vote with you vote with your dollars. Okay. What you buy is what you're voting, telling the company, this is what I want to see more of, this is what I want to. So that was kind of what you were saying before, and I just want to say that, I totally agree that. I mean, like, what you choose, quality, what you're specifically buying is you're telling the company that this is what I want more of. So when Fear Itself's out and you hate it, but you're like, nah, I'm going to buy it anyway, because who cares? You're telling the company that you want more more of this.
More of that garbage.
And so, that can take it down. But I want to say now, like, the most selling comic right now, I think Justice League was 200,000 comics. It sold something like 200,000 comics, which is just a crazy amount, and crazy awesome for DC. They have, 1 month before, the highest selling comic was probably 100,000. And it was an FF issue or something like that, FF 600 or whatever. Or that was too soon, but I don't know. There was FF #1. And, this was a big deal, you know, that it reached 100,000, and that's big. But let's just take back almost exactly 20 years ago. We have one of the biggest booms in the industry ever, the biggest boom, and Marvel puts out 3 crazy books. They put out Spider-Man in 1990, adjectiveless Spider-Man. It's their, you know, it was a big deal, all adjectiveless titles. And they put out Spider-Man, X-Force, and Uncanny X-Men. Spider-Man sold...
Or just X-Men.
Yeah, just, not Uncanny X-Men, just X-Men. Sold 2.6 million. X-Force sold 3.9 million. And X-Men sold 7.5 million copies of one issue. Granted, they all had like 5 variant covers, and there's tons of people probably buying 5 of every cover, and it's stupid to do that, but really... We sold that many comics, and now we can't even get 100,000 people to buy comics. And Scalped by Jason Aaron can't get 8,000 people to buy his comic. You know, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy how those numbers have shrunk by this much. Yeah. And you know, just think of how many comic shops and different things just had to go out of business because of that. You know, just tons. So would a resurgent like the boom in the 90s be good for comics? Yeah, I mean, it would be great. It would be great. Everybody would have more money. Creators would be making more money, you know. But things get out of control then, and at that time, Marvel almost went bankrupt right after that because they planned on selling that many copies every time and didn't, and then overcompensated and almost went bankrupt. So it could be bad if this ever does come back again, and we ever sell like that again. You know, it could be bad for the industry. But I would just like to have. Like, let's 500,000 people, you know, buying every copy of Justice League, sell 500,000. Every copy of Spider-Man, you know, it should be good, first of all, and then it should sell 500,000 copies. It's Spider-Man, almost one of the most well-recognized symbol in the whole entire world, no matter what language you speak. And so, I don't know. It's crazy that there's not more selling, and it's amazing that it isn't a worldwide sale, that we don't go worldwide. You have to go through a third party to get, you know, worldwide comics. The UK is like the only other place that gets comics same time as us. It's like everybody else has to wait, you know. That's not good either. So there's different things that they need to do to get it together, sell more comics, make them cheaper. Just come on, make all my wishes come true, publishers.
Right. And again, I mean, these are just observations that we have on there, you know. But
no, I speak the truth.
The truth. Oh yeah. But. Seriously, like, you know, being on a tight budget like that, like, it's a complete switch for me, you know, and if anyone else, you know, because you get all these New Year's resolutions, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you know, for me, I mean, I want to also get right with my money, and that's one of the things. I was dropping like $40 a week on comics it was stupid, and a lot of it I just don't really care about, you know, a lot of the comics, you know, so I'm kind of sticking with the flagship titles for a while. Since I'm making some room, I might actually look for recommendations on indie books.
Nice.
So we'll see about that. But I'm just kind of getting the feel of what DC titles I'm going to be keeping, because I'm still whittling that down too. But yeah, we'll kind of see how things go coming up. But
yeah. All right. Well, give us. That's what we think about. That's enough about Comic Prices. Let's hear what. I didn't read my week's books this week, and I see that Thunderbolts came out this week. I didn't freaking grab the issue, so I'm gonna have to go back tomorrow. But anyway, let's give us some rundowns.
Thunderbolts number 168, 6.5 out of 10. Luke Cage.
Yeah, not that
kind
good.
of a who cares, but this was a not historical issue, because you know Tom and I disagree on this. You know, the late arc has just been a lot of, you know, good guy crap. I like Bad Edge better. I liked it better under Norman Osborn. We were talking about this on the Facebook group, and Tom of course put the gavel down. Nope. So we just peacefully disagree on that. But this was an issue that, you know, it's character development for Luke Cage. Cool if you're a Luke Cage fan. Me, I don't care. It was a cool issue, though. You got to see a little Ghost in there, so that's a relief, you know.
Yeah, thank God I missed him.
Ever. So, yeah, like I said.
So are they back now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're still back in
Good,
time.
because I love the time stuff, dude. Jeff Parker, thank you so much for writing such an awesome comic.
Oh, my God.
He's crazy.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm just giving you crap. It wasn't that bad of an issue, though. It was just like, it was a good break for me from the time travel nonsense. But anyways, X-Sanction Avengers 2 out of 4. This one, Cable goes up against Iron Man. A very awesome showdown. It was awesome. He took down Captain America and Falcon in #1. So kind of just going after the Avengers, and it was cool. You're learning more about the techno-organic virus that consumes his arm and his face and stuff. So get to see some correspondence with Hope when she was a little girl, so you get familiar with that relationship a little bit there. So all in all, that one, I'll give it about an 8 out of 10.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm picky.
Do you know it's called Avengers X-Sanction?
Yeah.
I thought it was just Avengers Sanction.
Yeah.
The X is totally a part of the
little target or
like
something.
a target.
Oh. Yeah.
I want to say one thing about that.
Yeah.
How can it be good?
It is good.
I mean, it looks
It was
so
a fun issue.
dumb.
That's the one that John recommended.
My gosh, I just can't believe it. I mean, I feel
Because
like
I was not going to get it.
any cover that looks like this and has like Avengers X-Sanction written by Jeff Loeb, I don't know. I just feel like, can it really be good?
I enjoyed it.
So okay.
I was pleasantly surprised, to be honest with
good.
you.
Well, yeah, maybe I should read it then. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just been burnt too many times by Jeff Loeb, but anyway.
Avengers Academy
Next.
#24.
24 issues.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It was brilliant.
Damn, dude.
I love it.
Dude, how does this thing just continue to kill? And there's like almost a cult-like group of people that just love Avengers Academy.
It's a great book.
So just love it.
Yeah.
And I still haven't caught up.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah.
I always liked it. I mean, when I was reading it, I liked it. And I love that 24 issues, same writer.
Still going down.
Same writer.
It's awesome.
How great. Plus a .1 issue in there, too. And I remember a one-shot, too, maybe an annual. So, I mean, they've had a bunch of issues.
No, it's been absolutely amazing.
Great.
Last but not least, Uncanny X-Men #4. Finally, the series has redeemed itself. This is the #1 issue for me.
Oh.
This is the leading lady in my life right now for this new run of Uncanny X-Men. The Phalanx made a little cameo, so it was so cool. Like, we're done with stupid Mr. Sinister. Yes. You know, we're actually doing something. Yes. Kind of a one and done issue, but it was cool. I enjoyed it. So.
Good, man. What do you rate that one? You rated the
I'm gonna give that I'm gonna give it a 9 as well.
Nice. Damn.
So and I was very selective with my issues this week, and I'm glad that I was.
Yeah.
About 14 and some change on all that. So
yeah,
I was okay with that.
I had a $20 gift card, so mine wasn't too bad. Yeah, thanks, Tyler, my brother. And I have to go back and get Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So that's silly. But I picked up Fatale today from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, which is a title that is from Image Comics. Ed Brubaker is the Captain America guy. He's been at Marvel forever, and he is, all his indie books were through Icon, Marvel's imprint, and he's going over to Image, and he's putting a book out there, and I just think it is so damn cool, and I just hope a bunch of creators follow suit. Yeah. I mean, it's Image. You can do what you want, however you want to do it. It's your book. All the sales are on the back end, so, like, these guys, when you work for a publisher, you do your work, you get paid up front right away.
Yeah.
On Image, you do your work, you turn it in, it sells, however much it sells, then you get paid from Image.
Nice.
So it's a risk. It's a risk to put out an Image book because you're working for nothing, during while you're working. And so I hope a lot of other creators start following that, and I can't wait to read it. I haven't read any of my books today, but that one is the one I'm mostly excited for. Yeah. It was a good book. It was a good week, though. Animal Man, Swamp Thing. So I'm excited to read all that. Word up. All right, guys. Well, thanks. Issue 25 in the books. So check us out again. comicbooklook@gmail.com. Hit us up with an email for some show ideas. And, we'll see you next week.
And comment on our videos, because I like writing back.
Yeah, John loves talking to people on the videos. Please comment more. And thank you, everybody who does comment. AJ Jackson and Lego Cinema, that's a comic book dude. Ed and Phil. I mean, we appreciate everybody who does. Von Boone, you guys are all great. So thanks again. And,
keep it comics.